Hi guys, welcome to Bolt from the Blue Tarot. My name is Sam and I'm an intuitive card reader. Let's get into a reading for you. So, right out of the gate, got some D&D cards. If you're new here and you're like, what? Just wait. Thunderclap. Doing more of these. Dance Macabre. More. Primordial Ward. More of these, Spirit? All right, just these. We reading from these? Oh, I just noticed there's another card here. Absorb Elements. Putting this at the end. Okay. Thunderclap. Dance Macabre. Primordial Ward. Absorb Elements. With Thunderclap, I'm getting, the bolt of lightning that strikes the tower to bring it down. If you've seen the logo of my channel, the horse and the lightning striking the tower like a bolt from the blue, my sense this is a tower that brings a death with the Danse Macabre. This is a motif in art from the Middle Ages when the Black Death was really rampant. It's a reminder of death, but of to live joyfully, for death comes for all. So there's a tower that's bringing a death, but it's a good one. When we think of the death card from the tarot, card number 13, we think of death, yes, an ending, but also a rebirth. That death typically happens for us. And that's the lighthearted sense that I get from the Danse Macabre. What about Primordial Ward and Absorb Elements? Okay, so there's a death coming to a way that you have been existing in the world, where you haven't had the best energetic defenses, the best energetic boundaries, and this has led to you absorbing all kinds of just random emotion from your environment. You might identify as an empath. You may even identify, like your boy here, as a psychic empath, in which case these boundaries are all the more important. I'm wondering what this thunderclap is for you. I'm going to read from this card. The range is self, so 5 foot radius. These are all spell cards from D&D, by the way, which I've never read on the whole. You create a burst of thunderous sound which can be heard 100 feet away. Each creature other than you within 5 feet of you must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes thunder damage. Doom. So I'm also being directed to one action. The casting time is 1 action. The card's number is 0. So this is like this is something that you're realizing. I don't know that this is like a violent tower. I think this is just a realization that you need better energetic defenses. Maybe maybe something like a 5-foot diameter bubble around you with the 0 and the 5-foot radius. I'm getting there's there's 1 action you can take that does this. Different things work for different people, and typically these are visualizations that you use to cleanse your field and then create loving but firm energetic boundaries with a kind of filter. I'm being called to do so, so I will briefly mention that one thing that has worked well for me is an exercise from the book Psychic Witch by Matt Oren, and I do a variation on that, and it's like you imagine bright white light in the form of spirits moving from the crown of your head down through your body past your feet, and this cleanses you as it moves down, and then the light moves to your right and left and above, before you, behind you, and below, and then it kind of pervades and creates like this cleansing white light. I throw some gold in there, and then there's a gold layer that goes onto the outside as a kind of like gold mesh, and this allows the good in and keeps the negative out. And this is an imaginal act. And you may think, Sam, what is the benefit of an imaginal act? But you will find that this helps you. The imaginal is the energetic, is the quantum, is magic. So it's all one. Any more from here? Okay. We're going on to the crystals, yeah? Okay, there's something else from here. Synaptic static. Ooh. After a failed save, a target has muddled thoughts for 1 minute. During that time... Okay, so there's a little addendum to this message saying, like, you might be getting some thoughts that aren't your own. You are a psychic empath in this case. You are feeling some feelings that might not be yours. You're thinking some thoughts that might not be yours. It's just like someone needs to hear that these energetic defenses are important in that they keep us closer to our own authenticity, our own intuition. Because we might be really working to improve our thought patterns, our belief systems, and then we find these things coming in, and all of a sudden we're thinking very negative thoughts. Sometimes this can be these things dredging up from the subconscious to be dealt with, to say that, hey, this is still a part of our belief system that needs to be worked on. But other times, this is just stuff in our field. So you may find that some energetic cleansing, just as a form of spiritual hygiene on the daily, can really help you. I have linked in the description of every video a link to a playlist that I made. It's mostly not my own stuff. It's other creators who do energy work on YouTube. And there's different creators who practice different kinds. So you should check that out and see what feels good to you. Yeah. There's something else there, but I think you can discover it on your own. Okay, I'm being asked to plug my own subliminal. So this is these creators will help to cleanse your field of this energy and of these thoughts that aren't yours. Just like this, you will feel so much lighter after you find the right one and use it on a regular basis. You'll feel a lot healthier. You will actually be physically healthier because you're no longer absorbing this stuff that leads to disease. But something that has really helped me is this prayer with the archangels, where you put them on all four sides of yourself, and then the bubble shield of the Shekinah, which is like the feminine force of God. I have a subliminal that's about that may help you. So you should check that out on my other channel. I always link that in the description. But there are some other subliminals in there as well that may help with this synaptic static. These belief systems that are creeping in that are not yours, or ones that you have adopted in the past from caretakers, etc., that keep you in lack consciousness, poverty consciousness, that are keeping you from manifesting as powerfully as you could, that are keeping you, my sense is just like energetically stale or stuck, right? When you deserve to grow and flourish. So check those out as well. Covered? There's something else, but I don't, we're going to ramble on. This one? Yeah, maybe this is going to come out later in the reading. Do you want more from here? We can do more. Recently I've been pulling a bunch of these spell cards. Skill empowerment. So, touch. So the range of this one is via touch. And it says, your magic deepens a creature's understanding of its own talent. So a lot of the videos in that energy clearing playlist are of Reiki practitioners or people practicing Reiki adjacent kind of practices or Reiki similar. See what resonates for you, because some of these folks can link you to trainings that can help you to develop this skill. Like, I feel like there's someone here who can heal with touch. Yeah. There's someone here who can heal with touch and doesn't know it. So watch those energy healing videos, and whichever one feels like it's moving stuff the most for you, look into the healer's modality and see where you can learn it. Because it may be that you have a gift that will not only help to heal you, but also others. I'm glad I pulled that one. Any more from here? No, okay. Good. That, I feel lighter. Message delivered there for someone. I'm just being asked to take a moment to say that just because you viscerally feel energy doesn't mean that you are being called to be like a hands-on healing or a Reiki healer. When I first started to really feel energy, I was like, oh, I need to, like, I was directed to this Reiki class, and I thought it was because I must have this, skill empowerment. But really it was, in the end, just to connect with people who could help me understand what was happening to me as I was on a spiritual awakening. who could give me little nuggets of advice and help me on my way. So even if you aren't this hands-on healer, you might, by learning more about it, run into more people, end up joining communities that can help you as well. Like this can ripple out in different ways. So don't think just because you're guided to this and then you're like, ooh, this is not for me, right? That's okay. It doesn't mean that you were misguided in looking into it in the first place. Sometimes we think the ends are different than our guidance is showing us or is pointing us towards. I'm pretty sure I would be a fairly stinky Reiki healer, but you know, this I can do, and it did lead me in this direction. So yeah, that's for someone. Rainbow fluorite. Beautiful. Ooh. Any more? Rainbow fluorite. Someone told me fluorite is supposed to be good for ADHD. Let's see, what about this is for you? I'm going to read the whole card. In life, there are things that give us energy and others that drain our energy. Discern what is adding value to your life and making you feel vibrant and happy, and devote your attention to this rather than that which drains you. Question people's motives and behaviors. It will help you to discover the truth behind their actions. If you are considering undertaking study, it's a wise decision. Oh, how about that? I spend my attention and time on what nourishes me. This is beautiful. You, as an empath, you may have been trained in the past to emotionally and energetically support other people. You may have been told in certain ways that that is your role in the family unit, in the friend group, whatever. But when we do that, we wind up being just like one of those battery packs that you take everywhere to charge your phone. It's an undignified way to live as an empath. When, if you are to preserve your own energy and actually go towards things that fuel you, what you'll find is that you can serve many more people in much more empowering and dignified ways than just being this like battery pack for energy vampires is really what it is. So my sense is, you know, energy vampires don't walk around with the big fangs and the white skin and the capes. So they're a little harder to identify, especially when we've been taught by energy vampires growing up that it's normal. Or natural, or something that you deserve, right? To have to energetically support others. But again, I'm veering a little bit into the negative, and there's a reminder here from this beautiful rainbow fluorite to focus on the positive, to focus on what fills your cup, to focus on you and feeling joyful and loving and good, and what makes you feel that way, which people, which places, which activities. Because if you are an empath, these things can, without really good energetic boundaries, these things can drain you a little bit. And you need more time than most to recharge. But once you find these things that recharge you, it's really beautiful. All right, let's see. This one. This one. More from here. More from here. This one or this one? All right, we're going in a different order than was originally planned, but we're going to get the correct message out. Avatar Cara writing in her journal. So this is from Avatar, The Legend of Korra. So there's a little bit of reflection or introspection being advised here. And this doesn't have to be through journaling. My sense is this goes along with the rainbow fluorite message. I feel like this is being brought out so to emphasize for someone, no. Like, take a look again at those relationships. And if you are an empath like this, you may not even realize that a lot of the feelings that you feel for other people are actually you just feeling their feelings. So you may be in a friend group that gossips and, you know, engages in other low vibrational stuff, and you're like, haha, yeah, this is all just normal, but actually it drains you, or it makes you dim your lights, or like you're not as big as you could be. It doesn't enlarge you, right? So there's some encouragement here to really suss out your relationships a little bit. Examine them, take a closer look, and see which ones make you feel good. All right. We got it. All right, we're going to grab some more from here. Miguel playing the guitar instead of making shoes. This is from the movie Coco. This card asks whether you're doing what you're supposed to do instead of what your soul wants to do. And there's encouragement to swap those. You may be patterning your life after someone else's. And there's encouragement here. Like, once you look into these relationships, you may find that there's a lot of square pegs in round holes. Like, you may have been trying to force yourself into this lifestyle with these people. Like, you may be trying to adapt to all of these things around you, rather than realizing, rather than sitting in the knowing that this is your life and the things that are meant to be in it should feel right for you. This is just a shift of how we organize our life, how we want it to be, and that we want it to be for us, rather than feeding others, especially if we're just feeding egos, right? At the expense of our own dreams or dispositions. It's no way to live, right? So Miguel has this beautiful skill at playing the guitar, but music is banned in his family. No one's allowed to play music, and it's because of a generational trauma around this. There's encouragement here. Don't you dare make shoes when your destiny is to play the guitar, right? The family business is to make shoes, but he's a very talented guitar player. And this thing that you do, like Miguel plays the guitar, whatever it is, and it's okay if you haven't found it. Let me just throw in there that you'll never find it adapting your life to meet other people's expectations, because most likely they would tell you not to take this up in the first place, right? Or it would never occur to you because you just haven't found the right crowd. You haven't someone here, you are destined to live a life of energy, moving energy, healing with energy, becoming deeply entwined with the beautiful energies that flow through the universe. Like you're a child of the universe, and energy will sing through you, is what I'm getting. And you're just in some low vibrational spaces or dealing with some low vibrational people, and you might have been around them so long that you think that you're like that too, and you're not. Or the message, the encouragement here is that you can't reach your full potential so long as you think you are. And your potential is tremendous. Just remember that your uniqueness pleases God, pleases Spirit, pleases Source. You're put together that way for a reason. Your soul wants these things for a reason. And your uniqueness also really pleases your ancestors. I'm getting a lot of ancestral energy coming through here to support you, to say like, we need to get you playing the guitar, whatever this is for you. It will also help them. It also sets them free from this generational trauma, the things that held them back. It sets a different course for your lineage. It makes a difference in the world as well, not just your family. Yeah, whoever I'm talking to, you can make a real difference with your unique, natural skill set. And the talents that lends itself to, channels into, really. I'm just getting like a lot of energy flowing, visuals, and yeah, you're someone who can move energy, and you should. And there's encouragement here that this doesn't have to be just Reiki or like energy healing. When you're playing the guitar virtuosically, that's not a word. When you're a virtuoso on the guitar, you move energy through sound. You move that sound through people. It moves them, right? You create beauty with every note. So there's lots of ways to move energy. All right, what are we doing next? This one? If you're new here, this is a board game, not a board game, a card game called The Hollow Woods. It's a story-making card game. I enjoy purchasing these games and then using them for divination. Huh. Okay, so usually, these cards don't have names. They don't have meanings like the tarot, obviously. But usually when I get the werewolf, it's the werewolf transforming. It's usually you undergoing a transformation, but my sense is here that you are this Little Red Riding Hood type character. And this is more of like the grandmother that's actually a wolf energy. I really don't. Messages like this are a bummer, guys, but there's someone in your family that is just like, when the wolf is all dressed up as the grandmother, you think they're all sweet. They have a darkness to them energetically. And it's hungry like a wolf, like energetically hungry, like a void that can't be filled. Have you ever watched a wolf or a really hungry dog just wolfing something down? I'm getting some really unpleasant visuals. My sense is that you already have been receiving a little bit of guidance around this person, and that is it a parable about the wolf that you feed, right? In you there are two wolves. It's kind of like higher lower self thing, but it's also about love versus fear. And when you pour into the loving wolf, it just grows more loving, right? It grows more boundless. It grows bigger energetically. The fear-based one stays hungry. Like it doesn't matter how much of your energy they consume. It will never be enough because it's putting a band-aid on like a gaping wound. It's pouring your energy into a void. Only they can heal this for themselves. And that's why she's leaving this cottage. It's like she's seen the nature of this energy in one of her loved ones. Sorry guys. This is such a bummer. But these people teach us important energetic lessons, and it's in breaking free from them, no longer feeding them our energy, that we allow them to learn this lesson as well. Because this kind of energy, they don't just take your energy. They take it wherever they can get it. It's insatiable hunger. It's never satisfied. And it always needs more because it can't create its own. So sometimes we have to create these energetic boundaries, separate ourselves so that the wolf can remember that it's a person and learn to create its own energy, to draw on larger energy sources like the earth, the sun. Find the things that it likes to do that fills their own cup. I'm going to move on from this. Let's see what else. Okay. Yeah, we're going to do a card from Wisdom from the Epics of Hind. And these are some stories from the Hindu tradition. Dushyanta's reunion. Are we doing a spread? Okay. Karna's generosity. These came out in a similar spread the other day. Kubja's transformation. So my sense is perhaps you have identified or you will identify this this void space, this hungry ghost inside of a loved one of yours. You see how the jaws are like open and this child is naively, like the child doesn't know any better, and you were trained to feed this monster from a young age. You were trained like, yeah, put your energy in here. I need it, and if you don't give it to me, then you're a bad daughter, you're a bad son. I can't regulate my own emotions. It's your job to do it for me. And these things are never explicitly worded like that. It's just an energetic relationship that you learn to take on from a young age because you can handle possibly what a parent cannot within them. But there's a reminder that we can choose differently. And as an adult, we need to protect ourselves. Come back to the zero, the circle of protection, the bubble shield. That we have to cut a cord, even if it bleeds, even if it's like a energetic umbilical cord. And it might make us sad. But, you know, I just get like maybe a little bit melancholy, but peaceful energy from him. And truly, you might feel like you're depriving someone else of something. But what you're actually doing is preserving your own peace, which is something that gold cannot buy. And for you, this is like, I cannot overstate how much this is a health thing. I don't just mean mental health, I mean physical health too. When you're an empath, I don't know if you've ever watched Parks and Rec, but there's this scene where Ron Swanson is at a diner and he says, bring me all of the bacon and eggs that you have. And the guy turns away and he's like, wait, come back. What I'm afraid that you heard me saying was that I would like a lot of bacon and eggs. But what I actually said is that I want all of the bacon and eggs that you have. Do you understand? And there's this, I always think about that with empaths because, you know, you'll say, oh, I'm an empath. And then people are like, okay, cool. And then it's kind of like, no, wait, come back. What I worry you heard me say is that I'm an empathetic person. What I actually said is that I'm an empath. So I don't just imagine what you are feeling, I feel it, right? It's like it's beamed to me, and I feel what you bodily feel. I feel what you mentally feel. I feel your emotions, right? And when we've done this from a child, we think it's normal to a degree. We think it's like our job for those around us who are emotionally, energetically not as strong. But we can help more people if we preserve our own peace. And you see how in the foreground her body language is sort of like hunched over, protective, small is what it is. And then towards the top, after this transformation, where she stepped into her own radiance, her body language is more, it's bigger, it's more expansive, it's more sensual and more powerful. It's more appreciative of herself and her own body and her own sovereignty, energetic sovereignty, interpersonal sovereignty. Yeah, there's a big message that, you know, when we stop giving energy to energy vampires, what we do, like, they will say, why are you doing this to me? Right? Because this is energetic, and a lot of the times they don't understand, or they only subconsciously or unconsciously understand that there has been a shift, and all of a sudden your energy is not as available to them. They know on some level, but they can't explain why. There will be this feeling that like you are the bad guy. But what's important to realize is that you're not doing anything to anyone else. By setting up these boundaries, you're doing something for yourself. And when people react negatively to the things that we do to improve our lives, the things that we do for ourselves, it says a lot more about them than it does about us. It's kind of that moment when we see the wolf dressed as the grandmother, right? This is heavy, but just know that a lot of the heaviness you've been feeling isn't even yours. And that this is difficult, especially if it's been going on for a lifetime, but you will start to feel so much better. You're setting yourself up for a better life if you choose to do this. What now? Okay, we're going back to the storybook deck. See what it has to say. C-3PO telling stories to Ewoks. So this is from Star Wars, and C-3PO is this protocol droid. So he's programmed as an excellent storyteller, amongst other things, for communication. But he's telling this story to the Ewoks, and he does all the voices and everything. So it's time to watch or read or listen to a really good story. I love this piece of advice. And you may be guided to a particular story. But this is not daytime TV. This is something epic that's being recommended here. So watch something Journey of the Hero-esque, something big and bold and epic and colorful, and consider the lessons of the story for your life right now. There's encouragement here to revisit an old story that you may have forgotten or not watched, listened to, read in a long time. For some of you, from your ancestral heritage, whatever that may be. I feel like if it is from your heritage, ask to be guided to it. Ask to be guided to this story. There's also encouragement here to tell a story from your culture to someone who could use it, someone who could benefit from it. Sometimes the narrative of these readings flows really nicely, and other times I'm guided to say things that I think are for a subset of people, or are just like, just do them on faith, because you will be guided somewhere that this reading cannot guide you, that is personal to you most likely, or that will really help, a stranger or an acquaintance. Tell a story from your culture to someone who could use it. All right, let's see what else from this deck. Harry, Ron, and Hermione in the Devil's Snare Plant. So this card encourages you to accept, allow, surrender, to sink in and sink through something rather than tensing up against it or resisting. There's a reminder that calm optimism and faith in yourself and your divine support is the best way through. Remember that in terms of energy, this negativity can all be transmuted. So there's a question here about how can you transmute the situation and the feelings surrounding it, with a reminder that these things will not only make you stronger as a person, but they'll make your light body bigger and more beautiful. Like they'll make you energetically more powerful for having transmuted. And that can be a lot of our trajectory. It's like, Sam, why was the deck stacked in this way for me? Why did I have a life full of these energies? And it's so you could learn about them, transmute that energy, add it to your own power, and step into your own power, and then use it to make the world a better place. Because you will. See what else wants to be said here. Lucy hiding at the back of the cupboard. So this is from Narnia. This card comes out to say, you won't know when, how, or why it happens, but you're about to enter Narnia. Magic is about to ramp up big time in your life. You can't really explain it to other people because they won't understand unless they've experienced something similar. You're about to experience this very flowy, lucid engagement with the universe. So there's encouragement to get conversational and playful with your guides, with your guidance, with your spirit team, your benevolent, well, wise ancestors, and not to doubt the synchronicities that are being thrown your way. They're there to encourage you and remind you you're on the right path. Some of you may benefit from speaking with animals as well. There are some animal friends who can lend an ear to you. Let's see. Gandalf in the Library of Gondor smoking his pipe. So this is from Lord of the Rings. This comes out to say that you have research to do. Something about the library. I feel like someone is going to find some magic at the library or in a bookstore. I think it literally is the library for someone. Okay, if that shimmers for you, if that sparkles for you, take it. This reading is a little different than what has come through in the recent past. Let's see, anything else from here? Gandalf and Frodo in the Long Dark of Moria, another Lord of the Rings. Yeah, so from this I get some more of that energy of, Sam, why is this stuff happening to me? Like, and there's a reminder that it happens for us, which can be hard to hear, especially when you're realizing this about a loved one. Part of this card is about shaking victim mentality with the remembrance of fated divine destiny. That the things that happened for you happened to make you into, I mean, like from these cards, there's just this masculine and feminine badassery going on, this appreciation of beauty and this stillness and peace that comes from knowing when to bring the sword down and in what fashion. It's going to make you into this well-rounded, beautiful person who makes such a difference in the world, and your soul is going to learn so much as well. All right, Spirit, is that it? More from here? Okay. Indiana Jones in the map room of Tanis with the Staff of Ra. This is from Raiders of the Lost Ark. So this is another you have research to do card, but it's more like highest excitement context, with possible field work indicated. So this is about letting yourself sink your teeth into learning more about something that lights you up. Despite how, your family or the friends around you, how the people currently or previously in your life would look upon it. Like they might look upon it as completely crazy. But you know what? It lights you up. So Why not give it a shot? Especially if it's a healing modality, or playing the guitar, or something that makes the world more beautiful and bright. And it doesn't even have to be about that. It just has to be about making your heart space light up, making you feel beautiful and bright. Yeah. Anything else? That is it. There's a reminder here that brings us back to, what was it, the rainbow fluorite? I spend my attention and time on what nourishes me. I spend my attention and time on what nourishes me. It's a little mantra for you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.